Hi guys. Well, what you're looking at here on my bench is my Rory Stratocaster, and monkeying with it again. Changing out this pot, or both of them actually, because that great big clump of solder on there looks like shit. It's just from changing pickups in and out and farting around, trying to get it the way I want it. So I'm going to replace the pots. I'm going to try out one of these. This is Eddie Van Halen low friction pot. It's very smooth. Of course, for $12.50 it should be. And on the back, it's got the EVH logo, 250K audio pot. And I don't know what company makes these things. I'd be curious to know that. But it says right there, this is what I use. So it's good enough for Eddie Van Halen. Who might argue? So I'm going to install that in my Strat, and in the tone position, because I could only get one of those, I'm going to use on all parts pot for the tone. Okay, hang on a sec, I'll get set up and we'll start soldering. Okay, I got the pots off. There's the big ugly glob of solder. Pot's still okay. I'll clean that off and I can probably use it for something else. And this one here, I just need to get my cap off it. There's that. And then there. Okay. These can go away. And we'll bring in the work. So, give me a sec, I'll get the pots unwrapped and we'll start installing. Okay, this one's going to be the tone pot. And one thing that I always like to do is to tin the parts before I solder. And tinning is just basically putting a layer or coating of solder on the part. And then when you have the two parts that are tinned, when you solder them together, you're basically just sticking solder to solder rather than trying to connect metal to metal. It makes it much easier and much quicker, and it makes for a much neater job too. So with this pot, the only terminals I need are the middle terminal, which will be for the capacitor right here. It'll run from the middle lug to ground. And then the other lug here will jump to the volume pot, which will jump over to the 5-way switch. Okay, so I'm only going to tin these two lugs. There. 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 And I'm going to put a bit of solder on the cap, on the back as well. There, little blob. That's for the capacitor to stick to. Now I'll take the capacitor and put it in there. See that? Okay. Now since the capacitor and the lug both have solder still on them, all we got to do is that. There. That's attached. And then the next thing is just to position the other leg on the cap, right here. And same thing. Hang on a minute. That ain't working. Hang on a sec. I gotta get some heat going. There. Didn't put enough solder on the pot. So there's the idea. So now it's connected here and here. That's all that's needed. And now, oops, what I'm going to do is take the Eddie pot, here it is, take it out of its packet, oops, right here, and I'll get it ready, and we'll tin this one and install it into the pickguard. Okay, doing the same again with the Eddie pot. I've put a little bit of solder on each of these lugs. The middle one will go to the output jack, and this one will go to the switch, and then this one goes to ground. So I'll just solder it to itself. I can get in here without blocking the camera. It's kind of awkward. There. A bit awkward to get at, but it's done. So that lug is ground, that one's to the switch, or sorry, to the output jack, and that one's to the switch. Hang on a sec. Okay, one thing I almost forgot to do is I need to put a blob of solder on the back of the Eddie pot, just to tin that. There we go. There. Put a big one on there because there's several wires that connect. Now, this wire from the switch will go to that and then to this. You'll notice that I have my strat set up with a master tone, so it's only got two knobs. Master tone and master volume. I felt that the other one, having one tone for two pickups, was kind of redundant. Didn't use it much, so I pulled out the other pot and installed, or not installed, just changed the wiring so that that one pot works all three pickups, and I'm liking that a lot better. It's a pretty simple mod to do. You don't have to get any extra parts. You just have to change the wiring around and remove one of the pots, or you can leave the pot in there to fill the hole if you like. I just took it out completely. Toying with the idea of using it maybe as a blender pot for the front and back pickups, but I haven't decided yet. I have to figure out how to do that. I know it can be done. So there's those two wires here and here. One wire actually, it just goes right through this lug and into this lug, so I could put a drop of solder on each one, and then we're good to go. We can install the pick guard back in the guitar, and got to connect up the ground wires for the pickups, and then install the pick guard. So I can do this right now. There. That's done. Now this wire here needs to be restripped and tinned, so I'll just turn off the camera for a sec and do that and then come right back. Okay, this bridge pickup has a separate ground wire right there. So I wasn't using it before, but I'm going to stick it on anyway. So that's what's going to happen here. I'll put it in a separate spot because it's a little short. Okay, and then we will hold it with the screwdriver. Let that cool for a sec. Okay, that's done. And now we have the ground lead for the bridge pickup. So the bridge pickup has two grounds, so we might as well use them both. Not quite sure why, but it does. Now we'll put in place the ground for the other ones. And there we go. We should be ready to fly. All we have to do is install it in the guitar. And it doesn't hurt to cross your fingers too. Okay, hang on a sec and we'll put it in the guitar. Okay, I forgot to shoot the little piece of video, or I connected the pick guard back up again, but you saw me take it out. So it's the same thing in reverse, just 3 wires, 2 ground wires, and the jack wire that connects up to the pot. This is the Eddie pot. This is the tone pot. Tone pot's quite stiff, not really stiff, but normal stiff, where you would want it really for a tone. You just set your tone and you don't have to worry about knocking it and adjusting it off by mistake. And the Eddie pot is very, very light to the touch, which is what it's supposed to be. There's actually 2 of the Eddie pots made. This one, there's one that's a little more stiff. That would be good for a tone pot, but the store didn't have that one, so I just went with the volume. Great for swells. So the only problem I had with it is that it has a solid shaft. It's not a regular spline shaft, so it's a bit bigger. So I had a hell of a time getting the knob on. I had to, if you can make it out in there, I had to shave a lot of material out from the hole in this pot to get it to just press on. So that I don't like. It would have been better if it had a spline shaft. 99% of the pots out there, replacement pots, have that type of shaft. But other than that, for 12 bucks, what do you want? It does the job, but it's got a nice light touch. So anyway, that's it. Any questions on the Eddie pot or anything else, let me know. Thanks for watching.